Hey guys. Okay, so today we're starting with homework number 1. We're starting with topic 5EK, which if you look at the title next to this is adding and subtracting polynomials, which is actually not new. The only thing that's really new is this vocabulary, polynomials. So let's start with term first. So a term is made up of coefficients, which are numbers in front of variables. And so that means that there also can be variables, and they typically, you talk about them as having some kind of degree, meaning like what kind of exponent is their highest. And so terms, depending on how many terms you collect, it has a different name for what type of polynomial it is. So if it's a monomial, it has one term. So for example, 2x would be a monomial, or 5y squared would be a monomial. So you have coefficients and a variable, or coefficients, variable, and an exponent, but really that's it. There's no plus sign, there's no minus sign. A binomial has two terms. And so an example of that would be something like 2x plus 1, or 3x squared plus 5x. So two different things, and they're linked together with this addition symbol. And then you could talk about something being a trinomial, which means it has three terms, and we'll definitely be looking at those like this year. So x squared plus 2x plus 5 would be an example of a trinomial. It has three parts. So 1, 2, 3 different parts. And then after trinomial, after three different ones, you don't really keep changing that prefix there. You just change it to polynomial, which means many terms. So this could, include many different types of sizes: monomials, binomials, trinomials, or bigger. So when you're talking about adding and subtracting polynomials, so I'm going to erase this and say the good news is you've done this before. And you just called it something else. Before you called it combining like terms. So that's really what we're doing here, is we're combining like terms. So if I'm looking, I have 8j and j, right? And then I also have 6 and 9, which are just regular numbers. And so these represent like terms. So if I'm trying to figure out what this equals, really, I'm just saying 8j plus j. So 8j plus j is just 9j. And then if I have positive 6 here and positive 9 here, then that's 15, right? So plus 15. So it's really just combining like terms. So if I go through and start combining, something important to keep in mind is that if I have this negative sign in front of a parentheses here, really what this is saying is I have a -1 that I need to multiply into both. I need to distribute. So this becomes 2x squared plus 2x plus 9, but then negative times x squared makes negative x squared. And then negative times a positive 9 makes a negative 9. And so if I'm going through and I'm trying to figure out what my like terms are here, I do have 2x squared right here, and I have a negative x squared here. So one of the things that definitely many students make mistakes on with this is not taking the sign with the term that is in back of it. So this is a positive 2, this is a -1. So really I'm saying 2 minus this 1x squared here, which leaves behind 1. After that, I only have this positive 2x, it's nothing changed. I'm just going to say a positive 2x. And then I have plus 9, -9, which these two are like terms because they're normal numbers. And they actually cancel each other out. So this is really the same as saying x squared plus 2x. I don't need to. So if I type that in, here with x plus same idea here. So this time I only have 5n squared, right? Is the only n squared term I have. I have 6n, just positive. And then I have a positive 6 and a positive 2. So 6 plus 2 makes 8. So this ends up being 5n squared plus 6n plus 8. So I feel like this is probably something that you're going to be able to handle all right without a whole lot of help, because it is really stuff you've done before. You know, if you're doing a jump up in the level, it's really just adding more pieces. So I have, you know, 6 and 5 here, and then I have 1f squared, and then I have 1f, and finally 8 and 9. So altogether, if I'm adding those up, I have 11 f to the third, and then I have 2f plus 2f squared. And then this 5f plus 8f makes 13f, plus 9 and 8, which makes 17. All right. Moving forward, the other topic that we need to talk about for this week's homework, the other homework number 1, is G to G, which really is, it says here multiplying a polynomial by a monomial. So monomial is one term and a polynomial is more than one term. And if you look at this, hopefully you can tell this is the same as what you have called distributive property. If I take this outside number and I multiply it to both the inside numbers, 3k squared plus k squared equals 3k to the fourth. And then 3k squared minus k is negative 3k to the third. So I'm really just doing what you have called in the past distributive property. And so even though I guess it's a new topic, it's really not a new topic. So 3k, and then squared and squared means altogether I have 2 plus 2, so I have 4 of them altogether. And then if I'm doing 3k to the third, right, that's 2 here plus 1 there, which is why I get the 3 there. So minus 3k. So really I'm just adding up how many of them I'm multiplying. That's telling me how many k's I have up in my multiplication here. All right, same thing here. I'm going to take the 3s and multiply it to both of those. So 3s and 2s squared. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then if I have 1s in this group and 2s's in that group, I have 3 altogether. And then 3s times 4 is just going to change 3 times 4 to 12, and the s will stay the same. So I end up with 6s to the third. And then I'm adding 12s.